Hey guys, it's Tasha. Welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my niece's hair, and as you can see, we haven't done her hair in a very long time. So you can see all of her natural regrowth is all grown out. She has some golden blonde on her ends, which we are going to be lightening as well. So today we want to take her quite a bit brighter and blonder. We don't want to take her too solid though. We want to leave lots of dimension with her natural color mixed in. So I'm going to be doing a mixture of highlights, baby lights, and teasy lights, and yeah. So I'm going to start off by sectioning from the top of the head to the back of the ear and clip out those front sections, as we're going to be starting in the back at the very bottom. And if you notice, her hair is quite a bit shorter in this part of the video than it was at the beginning, because we chopped her hair before we highlighted because she wanted her hair quite a bit shorter. So it's always a better idea to cut and do most of the haircut before you start highlighting so that you can save yourself some product and time. As you can see, I've just started doing my baby lights, working my way up the head, and because her hair is quite a bit shorter underneath now, I have to use multiple clips, and because we were doing it at the house, I didn't have like a bunch of stuff with me, so I had to unclip the front sections and use those clips at the back to help me keep the little hairs, the shorter hairs up. So yeah, that's why the front sections aren't clipped away right now. But I would advise that if you're just starting out and you haven't been doing this that long, that you make sure you have enough clips so that you can keep all your sectioning neat and tidy. In this video, I'm using these styrofoam foam papers. It's what I've always used to highlight. Now everyone uses different things, whatever they prefer. A lot of people use foils. I know some people use these foam papers as well. I just find them a lot easier and faster. And I love using the board while I'm doing my highlighting because it gives me a really hard, sturdy surface so that I can fully saturate the hair, which is really important when you're highlighting. You have to make sure that you're fully saturating the hair to the point where if you flip the foil or the paper over and you open it up and look at it, the other side should be completely saturated and there should be no hairs that are untouched. And that's just going to help get the maximum lifting power so that your highlights turn out all even and beautiful. As I'm going up the head, I'm going to be doing a bricklaying pattern. So at the very bottom, I was just doing one paper wide, and then as I'm moving up and the head's getting wider, I was doing 2, and then as the head gets even wider, I'll be doing 3 wide, and yeah, I'm just going to be doing a bricklaying pattern back and forth from one side of the head to the other until I get to the top, and then I will show you how I section the front. To highlight her hair today, I'm using the Schwarzkopf Blonde Me, the bleach powder, and usually I would use the developer that goes with the Blonde Me as well, but the hair supplier is on back order for the Blonde Me developer, so unfortunately I couldn't get that one, which sucks because it has the bond enforcer built into it, which is fine because her hair is super healthy anyways, and the parts that I will be overlapping aren't super bright and fragile anyways, so I'm okay that there isn't the bond enforcer built in. So yeah, I'm just using the regular Schwarzkopf developer, not the Blonde Me today. And it might take a little bit longer to lift as high as I want because it doesn't specifically go together, but it'll still work just as fine. I just might have to wait a few extra minutes. And like I said, as I move up the head, where she does have the blonde bits on her end, I will be overlapping on the ones that are really gold, but then as I move to the top and the front, she does have some highlights that are still quite blonde, about a level 9 or 10, so I won't be overlapping those because we don't need to get that any brighter, so I will be leaving those ends out and just overlapping on the ones that are quite gold and need to be lifted a little bit more. And like I said, her hair is very healthy, so I am not worried about overlapping at all. It's still going to be perfectly healthy after. And that's just up to you, the stylist who's doing it. You have to know your client's hair. So if it's the first time you're ever doing the client's hair, You want to go more on the cautious side, and until you get to know the client's hair, then you can know how strong it is and what it can handle, and then you can adjust what you're going to do the next time you do their hair. But because I know her hair and I've been doing it for many years, I know what it can handle and I know how healthy it is, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I just added a little more powder to my mixture because it was a little too runny for me, and it's totally okay to add either more developer or more powder as you go along. wanted to also quickly talk to you guys about not being afraid to move your client's head or body position or whatever where you need them to be. They really don't mind if you move their head up or down or wherever you need it to be, just so that it's easier on your body. You always want to move your client's head to make it easier on your body so that you don't have a sore back or whatever, sore arms or neck. So you always just want to, don't be afraid to move them in the position that you need them, that works best for you. Alright, so now I want to explain to you guys a little bit about how I do the front and the top section. So I'm going to be doing the mohawk section, so wherever they part their hair, that's where you want to form your mohawk section around. So because she wears her hair in the center part, I'm going to be doing a center mohawk section. If they wear their hair on the side, you're going to want to basing your mohawk section off of their side part. And also, I want to have her, around her face, be quite blonde. I want her to have some nice money pieces. So I'm going to be doing about, I think, 2 or 3 very fine baby lights, leaving little to no hair out, just so that she's nice and bright around her face. And then once I finish the money pieces in the front, I'm going to continue on what I was doing everywhere else with just the highlights, baby lights, teasy lights as I move back, because I still want to mention moving back and everywhere else around her head. As you can see, I'm feathering into her already existing blonde. Now at the front she has already quite blonde on her ends, so I'm not going to be overlapping onto the ends that are already really blonde, but I want to make sure I'm at least feathering into it so that we're not going to have a line of where the old blonde was and where the new blonde is. So you just lightly feather into the already existing blonde very carefully, and it'll just help make it all seamless and blend perfectly once it's all done. So my camera ended up doing some weird things after I was doing the top section, so I wasn't able to do the sides for you guys, but you pretty much get the point of what I did around her whole head. I just continued the same thing on both sides of the head. And once I finished, I let her process for about an hour. I like to go low and slow, and that helps you keep the integrity of the hair. So never be afraid of letting your client process a little longer, especially if they have quite dark hair. It's going to get them to the level that you need them to be, especially if they want to be pretty blonde. And yeah. Just make sure to check the hair quite often, like go back to the highlights that you did first and make sure that they are okay. You can do an elasticity test and wipe the bleach off with a towel and pull on the hair gentle and see how it is. And if the ones that you did at the beginning are ready to come off, then you can go ahead and wipe that off with a towel, and then while you let the rest process. That's what I do a lot of the times. I always find it so satisfying watching people pull foils or papers out, so I thought I would add a little bit of this in for you guys. We didn't end up toning because I didn't have a toner with us as we were just doing this at home. And we also didn't have purple shampoo, so what I did again is in my last highlighting video is I just mix a little bit of a purple fashion color with some conditioner and use that as her conditioner, and it just helps take a little bit of any yellowness and just give it a slight ashy tone, which is what we were going for. So yeah, it works perfect. As you can see, her hair turned out so beautiful. We are so happy with it. It's nice and bright, but not too much blonde. You can still see her natural mixed in between, and we absolutely love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we'll see you in my next video. Thanks, guys!